Hello guys, it's Darksigner here from the German Duel Masters channel and welcome back to another duel video. Today I'm bringing you an Armorloid Manaburn mirror match between Halfar on the left side and myself on the right side. And it's quite an interesting matchup as we are both not really following the typical game plan of our decks, as the opponent can benefit too much of your destroying effects. So rather than playing the long game and grinding it out like you would against other control decks, we are trying to play a bit of a faster game here. And yeah, I start with a Cloned Nightmare, but he already drew a card by Aquahulcus, so his hand size is quite high at the moment, and he can get Simian Warrior Crash out before me. And in this matchup we found out that basically whoever can get out 2 Grush first will always win the match, as 2 of them are too much to counter. But luckily for me, I hit him with a second Cloned Nightmare, so I could clear his hand. And yeah, the Spiral Gate set him turn back. Yeah, he started really aggressive. I only have 2 shields left here and try to fight my way back, getting rid of his Aquahulcus with Rothus the Traveler. And yeah, here his Grush is already back again. And let's see how I can counter it. I play my own and also followed up with a Smash Warrior Stagrandu. So yeah, which another interaction here is that we both play Cloned Nightmare, and Cloned Nightmare doesn't count the copies in your own graveyard, it counts the copies in every graveyard. So basically every Cloned Nightmare from now on is a lost soul, so to say. And yeah, I decided to fire Blizzard of Spears to get rid of his Grush and burning 2 of his mana cards. So now we're even at mana, but he gets some advantage back with his Aquahulcus. And yeah, this Zombie Carnival gives me quite an advantage here, but I'm not sure if I can get out of this situation, as his board presence is pretty high and I only have 1 shield left. But yeah, the second Blizzard of Spears comes in really clutch. I have to burn 1 mana, but luckily the other card was just an Aquahulcus, so I didn't have to burn more mana. But yeah, another Cloned Nightmare by Halfar clears my hand, and the top decked Energy Stream gives me back some resources. And yeah, now he asked me to count the Cloned Nightmares in grave, I think, or how many Zombie Carnivals are already gone, because that's also a crucial card for the deck. But yeah, I think the count doesn't matter, as every Cloned Nightmare hits for so many cards. And here I can Cloned Nightmare him, and he decides to charge the Lost Soul, as it rarely comes up in this matchup that you get to 7 mana. As you saw, he killed my Grush and had to burn 1 mana, and now we both have Stagrandu on board. Yeah, I can clear his creature with Spiral Gate and start counter-attacking. So it is really a fast matchup, although we are playing basically control decks. But because of the nature of this mirror match, we are playing it like we would play an aggro deck. And now I think I set up for yeah, another Zombie Carnival play to replenish my hand. I get back Stagrandu, Grash and Rotus, I think. Yeah. And then play the second Stagrandu and crash mine into his, so he can't go for my shields. And yeah, I think it's the 6th cloned nightmare of the match. Maybe we should have added a counter for how many cloned nightmares got played in this match. Yeah, it's really disgusting to play a mirror match with cloned nightmare. Not really fun to play. And yeah, now I can start swinging for more shields, but I run into a zombie carnival. And now he's getting his advantage back. But it's a really close match. I know he has the card advantage right now, but like a top decked clone nightmare can definitely turn things around. But I think now I'm running out of steam and I'm really looking for answers for his board. My mass removal is gone as I played both of my Blizzard of Spears. An emergency typhoon comes down, just digging for options. And with Bronx, I can kill his Stagrandu and play my own. So now I have the advantage back on board, but if he can put more pressure, I think it's the game. I also start counting my cards in deck, as I think it's a really low number, and yeah, I think my options are very limited, and yeah, I think now I'm conceding as I didn't draw anything to out the board. Yeah, I try my best to draw into something, but yeah, that doesn't help. Okay, I can clear the board, but I think I'm at 5 cards or something left in deck, and he plays double Simin Warrior Crash, so yeah, I can clear one. Oh, and I can clear both, so I'm still hanging in this one, but I don't know why. It's really an overwhelming advantage on his side, and yeah, now I decide to scoop. And yeah, he reveals his shields, and there would have been some pretty good triggers. And while shuffling up, as you could see in this duel before, I played some new cards that differed from the deck profile we had a while back on our channel. So keep your eyes open. We will have an updated deck profile on the Armorloid Manaburn deck, as well as other deck profiles you might want to see. If you watch our duel videos, just let us know of which deck you would want a profile, and we will try our best to give you them as fast as possible. So starting game 2, I started the game, and nothing too much in turn 1. There are no turn 1 plays in this deck, and yeah, I didn't draw a 2-drop. That's a bit unfortunate, and Halfar can start his game in turn 2 with an emergency typhoon and discards Smash Warrior Stagrandu. And now I use my own emergency typhoon and discard Rothus. Emergency typhoon is a really nice addition to the deck, as you can freely discard Armorloids that can be retrieved with Zombie Carnival, or already can load up your grave with Cloned Nightmare to discard for more cards. But in the mirror match we shy away from discarding Cloned Nightmare, as it gives your opponent an advantage. And while you're doing that, you're digging for your Grush and other combo pieces. And here you saw that he wanted to use Bronx on my Grush, but Bronx uses the smallest creature on board, not on the opponent's side of the field, so he would have killed his own Aquahulkus. That's why I personally don't like it in this deck that much, because it conflicts with Bronx. But Hulkus has the benefit that you have another body on board, and sometimes you struggle closing out games, and there it can come in handy. And here I decided to suicide my Stagrandu into his Aquahulkus, as I have both Grush on board, so every time an Armorloid dies he has to burn 2 mana. So that was an advantage play mana wise. And I'm also going in for shields early. As you saw in game 1, he did the same thing and came out with the victory, and now it's looking really good for me, because he has to clear my Simian warriors, but yeah, while doing that you will lose your mana, but fortunately for him he could get also a second Grush out, so I had to burn mana as well, but I'm so far ahead in this shield race, and he goes down to 2 mana, so there's not much he can play outside of Spiral Gate or Emergency Typhoon. So yeah, he reveals his hand, but I say, yeah, you can still trade. He wanted to concede, but I said, come on, play it out. Maybe you have a slight chance of still winning this. But now I top deck Stagrandu, and yeah, he doesn't have any out, no Spiral Gate, so that's the game a turn later. And yeah, now I reveal my shields, and I also had nice triggers in there if he would have attacked. So I get the tie, so the match is tied at 1 both. So the game 3 has to decide the match here. We are both pie shuffling, as you can really clump your Armorloids if you destroyed many of the same name right behind another, so we're trying to get our decks a bit mixed up here. And yeah, I think Halfar is going to start game 3, and yeah, he does. That's also maybe a topic for a future discussion video. We found in our group that nobody ever wants to go second. Like, going first is always the superior option. We've never heard of a deck that really benefits from being 1 mana behind. There are some niche cards in, I think, DM5 that can excel your mana if you're behind, but I don't think they are really meta relevant. And here you saw a play. I anticipated Grush, so I slammed my Stagrandu into his before he can do the same on the following turn, while I have to burn a mana. So I wanted to clear the ward before Grush hits the field. Now he's in a bit of an advantageous position, but I'm not too far behind. So I'm thinking what I should play. I clear his hand with a Cloned Nightmare and hit a Zombie Carnival. That's a nice hit. And yeah, he starts to attack with his Grush, and I have to find an answer for that. Maybe I have a Spiral Gate or something like that. First I'm trying to dig for options with Energy Stream, and yeah, I draw into the Spiral Gate. That really helped out. Now he's looking for Cloned Nightmares, I think. Checking my graveyard, that really telegraphs that he has a clone. But he decides to play the Crash again to put more pressure on board. Now I'm looking at my grave, which Armorloids are already in there. But yeah, it doesn't make too much sense to recycle them now. I play a Crush of my own and use Emergency Typhoon to dig deeper into my deck. And yeah, there's the Clone Nightmare I anticipated last turn. Discarding 2 cards as I used one in the previous turn, and he discards another Clone Nightmare, so the next one will be even more devastating. And Spiral Gate out of the shields coming in really handy here. But Halfar has quite a commanding lead in shields. Let's see if I can finally build a board here. So I'm still desperate for options, using Energy Stream to draw more cards and using 4 mana for Bronx to kill a Stragandu. So yeah, now I have the lead. I don't know why I didn't attack here. I don't know if I was afraid of a shield trigger or just didn't catch that I could attack with Grush, but I really think I should have attacked here. And now Halfar's digging for options, and he's at 3 mana left, so I think his turn is done here. Or maybe he has another Clone Nightmare. No, the turn is over, and yeah, I'm also quite in front in my mana zone. I don't know why I didn't charge here, but maybe my cards in hand were too valuable, and now I have the second Crush. And that's the moment Halfar didn't want to see, because now if he wants to remove them, he has to burn a really big amount of mana. And he draws a card with Aqua Hulkus, and Clone Nightmare discards my whole hand. And there goes the Blizzard of Spears that may have wiped his whole mana zone, but I top deck a Lost Soul. That's a really nice top deck, so now we're even in cards in hand and I can freely attack his shields. And yeah, suddenly I have quite a big lead, and by destroying my whole field he has to burn 6 mana as he destroyed 3 Armorloids while 2 Grushes were on the board. So he is left with 1 mana, and if I can stick a creature on board this turn, I think the game's over. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I can Zombie Carnival 3 Armorloids back, and one of them will be Smash Warrior Stagrandu, and I still have 2 mana left to play it. And yeah, he has to have Spiral Gate, otherwise the game is over, and he doesn't. So that's the match 2-1 for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this